Hi there YouTube. This is my first time making this type of video, one with a voiceover. So please bear with me. This is a work with me video of my most recent dress-up video outfit, the WaLoli Catgirl Kimono. This is part 1 of part 2, which is the outer layer of the outfit. Please enjoy. So for this outfit we have several parts. 2 sleeves, 2 front peplums, 2 back peplums, 2 bodice pieces and 1 neck piece. So first, unfortunately I won't be showing you the sewing part. I'll only show the pinning part because the sewing machine is in a difficult position. So first I'll be pinning the back sides of the 2 bodice pieces. As you can see, I did it wrong the first time. So after sewing them, I pin the seams to the sides and iron them flat so that they don't take up any bulk. I iron the collar piece in half to make it easier to put on. I find the middle and start pinning on the collar to the bodice. I make some snips in corners to help the collar piece turn better. So while we're watching that, I'm just mentioning that I draw my patterns out with a washable pencil and cut them out and then seal the edges of the fabric with fabric glue. And then I sew it. And I check the fit around the doll often to see if there's any adjustments to the pattern or adjustments to the outfit I have to make. I'm using the fabric glue to seal some of the cuts I've made. Now I'm pinning the 2 back peplums together. And sewing them. So after that, I'm going to pin the back peplums to the back of the bodice, making sure that my seams align with each other. Oh yeah, and I also pressed the seams before pinning them to make them lay nice and flat and reduce bulk for the outfit. Now I put the front peplums to the front of the bodice. I use the inward curved part to add them to the bodice. It might be necessary to add some small cuts into the fabric of the curved part when you're putting it onto a straight edge, such as the straight part of the bodice. Naturally, I'm sewing them. Now I'm sewing the sleeves. So I fold the sleeves in half and fold the bodice in half and match the center of both to each other to pin them. And I determine where I'm going to stop sewing the sleeves to the bodice by fitting it on the doll. And I repeat with the other sleeve. Also, I didn't show this here, but I measured it to the pattern so that for the next time I'll be able to do it without having to measure on the doll. Now I'm going to sew close the sleeves and the sides of the bodice, making sure all the seams line up. I had made a mistake while drawing out the pattern onto the fabric and forgot to add the curve, because I forgot the curve goes on the inside towards the body instead of the hand, and couldn't remember how to figure that out. Silly mistakes. It happens often and you have to fix them often. Now sew them and turn everything inside out. You see me marking on the pattern and adjusting the patterns. And this is usually why you do a mock-up, but I'm lazy. this might look a bit short, but we're going to add a lot of lace and stuff to the bottom. It won't be that bad. Now I'm adding some lace. This lace is already ruffled, so I don't have to do that on my own. So usually I'd fold over the edge and sew the edges of the bottom of the dress, the outfit, and the fold over the edges of the sleeves and sew them in place, and then I'd put the lace on. But for several reasons I was planning on something else, so I folded the edge and pinned the lace at the same time. It's worth noting that this pattern wasn't originally mine. I googled the patterns and found one I thought was suitable, and I adapted it to fit my needs and printed it out. So now I repeat adding the lace to the sleeves. Later I'll also be adding some ruffled ribbon. This outfit consists of the outer layer, which I'm busy with, an inner layer, some socks, shoes, panties, a belt or obi, and the ears and tail. I won't be showing everything because I didn't make everything in this session. So after sewing, I check the ribbon. I measure the ribbon, how much I'll need, which is the length of the edge times 3 for both the bottom edge of the outfit and the sleeves. I'll seal the edges of the ribbon so that they don't fray, and then I sew a straight stitch on one edge using a 4.5mm stitch length. Here you can see me folding over the collar so I can sew it again. I found out my collar is a bit wide. Now with the ribbon that I sewed on one edge, I pull one of the strings and use that to gather the ribbon so that I get a nice ruffle. You can also get a nice ruffle on your machine by putting the stitch length to 4.5 and then allowing the machine to gather the fabric instead. It's just that when it comes to a thin ribbon, it's not always easy. So after I've gathered the ribbon into a nice ruffle, I start pinning them to the sleeves. Now I repeat with the other sleeve. When you do this, just be careful that your thread doesn't slip out on the other side, because then you'll have to do everything all over again. And in this part of the video, I realized the camera angle is really bad. It's definitely not very flattering toward my figure. For those interested, the video speed is more or less 4 times the speed at which I did it in real life. So if you want real time, you can slow it down by 4 times. Not that I think anybody would want to watch me pin some Not that anybody would want to watch me pin the ribbon for over 10 to 20 minutes. Finally, we get to the last part, which is obviously a much longer piece. Since it's difficult to measure the length it's supposed to be, I used a ruler to more or less measure about how much I should gather the ribbon. So after I sew that, I fit it on the doll again. And that's the main part done. Thank you for watching. See you for the next one. Bye.